Hi guys, this is John here. In today's lecture, we will understand the concept of 3D space. Now, if you remember in our previous lecture, we looked at the concept of axis where we had the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, and we saw the rotation of an object where we saw the rotation about an x-axis, we saw the rotation about y-axis, and we saw the rotation about z-axis. Now, there is another button that I've not explained, which is z-axis positioning and how do we position this in x, y, and z. So for that, we need to understand the concept of 3D space. Now, let me go ahead and erase some of these markers. We leave some of these axes as it is. Now, what we understood in the previous lecture was how to rotate an object. However, in this lecture, we will understand how to move an object in 3D space. Now, if you remember, this is x-axis, the horizontal is x-axis, the vertical is y-axis, and the movement along or perpendicular to your plane is the z-axis. Now, what I'm trying to show you is how do we move an object in 3D space. So, you drag an object and you move it. If you hold the left click on the object, you can move this using your mouse in 3D space. Now, this is currently moving only in two axes, which is your x-axis, horizontal, and y-axis. And you can move it along two axes here, which is your x and your y. Now, if you see this out of your 3D view, you can see this motion here. If you want to move this along your z-axis, you have to choose this button, which is z-axis position. You'll have to hold this and you can move this up and down. So you see it's perpendicular. So it goes behind, it goes in the front. Now, to explain this 3D space a little more effectively, let's take another 3D shape. Let's take a sphere. Now, I draw a sphere here. Now, if you see, I'm going to change this color. Let's make it red. Now, what if I want to place this sphere on top of my rectangle? So first I'll take my rectangle, move it a little bit in the front so that I can see it completely. Now, if this canvas is confusing you, you can get out of your 3D view, click on canvas, and you can show a transparent canvas, which means that the white canvas will not confuse you so that you can see your 3D object in space. Now let's go ahead and move this sphere such that we can place it on top of the cube. Now, do you think I've placed this correctly? Let's check in 2D view. We haven't. So you go up a little bit. Okay. Let's go here. Now I can select all of them. Now, if I want to view both these objects together, I can select on one and say select all, or I can say multi-select and go ahead and group them together. So I just clicked on multi-select and I grouped them together. Now, if I want to see if this positioned correctly or not, you see it's not positioned correctly. So I rotated this ball a little more and I hold it and I move this a little bit here. Let's check if the 2D view is fine. No, it's not good. So I bring it up a little bit. Okay. I've placed my sphere on top of my cube. Now, what did we see out of this? We understood that in 3D, you can move an object along three axes, X, Y, and Z. So now this is very important because you can have multiple 3D models kept at different points in space. They can combine together to form a larger 3D object, which we might use for any of our applications. So what we've tried to understand in this lecture is that there is a concept of 3D space. The 3D space is divided along three axes, which is X, Y, and Z. And you can move your 3D object in space along X, Y, and Z. Similarly, with this 3D model, I can move this front, back, X, and Y. So in this lecture, we have looked at how to take a 3D model, move it around in 3D space. Now you combine it with the knowledge that we gained in the previous lecture where we learned how to rotate the 3D model. So putting both together, we have now understood how to take a 3D object, rotate it in 3D space, and also move it around in 3D space. Now we will learn how to use these different features when we create more complex 3D models in Paint 3D. I hope this lecture was clear for you guys. I shall see you guys in the next lecture. Thank you.